Hello again and welcome down here to the Performance Centre at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds, where today I'm taking a look at the G425 Hybrid and G425 Crossover from PING. Hi there, I'm Ryan Rastall, PGA professional here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. And today, as I've said, we're taking a look at two brand new products from PING, the G425 Hybrid and G425 Crossover. But before we do that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. See loads more content from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. So G425, brand new club range for this year from PING. Whenever PING release anything, everyone goes bonkers for it. So G425 has been no exception. We've seen it out on tour quite a lot over the past few months. We've seen players winning with it already. It's been no secret, this club release, you know, the name has been known for a while to most of you. And finally, we get it here in the Performance Centre for me to have a bit of a hit with and tell you what I think. So we're going to do that today, obviously. Now, we're going to start with the Hybrid. Now, let's talk a bit about the technology in there. So what PING have done and what many manufacturers are doing this year is actually going along the lines of trying to make their clubs as forgiving as possible. They know that me and you aren't going to hit the middle of the club face all that often. Certainly I don't hit it all that often. So we need a golf club that's going to help perform for that type of player who needs that help when they hit it out the heel or the toe or the bottom or the top, you know, that inconsistent striker of a golf ball. Now, a lot of companies now are investing lots of money into this technology. We see AI being used a lot. We see lots of different technologies being used in club heads now. And what PING have actually done is looked at the way the club face reacts on off-centre hits and also what we call the roll of it as well. So how it's curved from crown down to the sole. So the first technology is called face wrap technology. So what PING have actually done is got the face and welded it in a slightly different position. So instead of it being welded kind of around the perimeter of the face, it now kind of wraps around the sole of the club and also around the crown a little bit more, and the welds are positioned there. Now what that does is allows the face to flex a little bit better. So when we don't hit it out the centre, when we hit it out the toe or the heel, we still maintain some of the ball speeds closer to what we'd see on a centered strike. So it's really just going to help us get away with those bad ones that we hit out on the golf course, and you know, who doesn't want that? The other thing I spoke about was the roll. So the way the face curves from top to bottom. Now, many of you won't even notice that it does that, but it does. Now, generally what happens if you hit it out the bottom of a golf club, you're actually hitting it on a point where the loft is lower than it is in the center of the face. So what tends to happen is that ball launches low, but then has lots of spin on it. So it kind of climbs, stalls a little bit and just falls out the air. Now, what PING have done is tried to change this so that the loft doesn't decrease quite as rapidly when you hit it out the bottom. So we actually get a bit more launch and a bit less spin. So we get slightly better flighted golf shots. And certainly that's going to help you when we're not hitting the middle of the face. And really this technology in the changing the roll, what PING call is spin consistency. So it's basically making the spin more consistent across more of the face. Now, what that's actually going to do for us is make sure that when we hit bad shots, the flights are going to look pretty similar to a good one, and you know that's obviously a good thing for us. Now, we've obviously got the adjustable hosel technology, so we can actually tinker around with the loft a little bit. We've got tungsten weight back in the head here to really move CG and help with MOI as well, so it doesn't twist as much when we hit bad shots. It's available in a variety of different lofts, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 hybrid. So all the way from 17 up to 34 degrees you can get this hybrid in that 7 hybrid. So you can really kind of use it to replace a lot of the irons if you don't like hitting those longer irons. And now it doesn't have to be long irons because it goes all the way to 7 iron. You know, if you're not happy with a 7 iron, you've got a hybrid in there that can really help you. All of the PING products have also got the Arcos Caddy Smart Grips in them as well, so that really helps you to chart everything that's going on in your game, have a little bit of a look at all the performance, as well as looking at things like all the distances you get with all the different clubs in your bag as well. So that's a really cool feature that now comes as standard in all PING products. Now, when we move on to the crossover, we see that we've got a completely new finish compared to the old one that was out. So this is more of a black finish head, kind of to go with some of the club lines that Ping have got out now. And I think it looks absolutely awesome. It's very much more understated and kind of stealthy looking when you see it. This is available in a 2, 3 or a 4, so 18, 20 and 22.5 degrees in those 3 different models. Again, it's all about forgiveness. So we've got a brand new face in here, much thinner. It's called maraging steel that Ping have used in the face. So it helps to flex a bit more and get a bit more ball speed. So we're going to see it come off that little bit faster. We've also got tungsten in here in both the toe and also in the hosel. So before the shaft's put in, there's a little tungsten weight put down there to really shift the CG around in the head and help this product become more forgiving as well. So it's actually 6.5% more forgiving than the previous model, which will really help you get more accuracy and also retain some of the ball speed and get the launch characteristics that we're looking for. So whilst this is more of a kind of iron replacement in terms of if you're a player who doesn't like the look of those really bladed longer irons in your set, a crossover might help, but also we could be seeing a hybrid slot in there as well. So what I'm going to do now is put them both to the test here on the Trackman and see exactly how they perform, talk a little bit about what I've sort of found when I've been hitting them as well. The great thing about when we get products from Ping is we're able to get stuff in our spec. So I went to Ping a while back, probably about 1.5 years ago now, got fitted by the guys down there at the Performance Centre over in Gainsborough, and they've got all my specs now on file. So whenever they send me product to test, it's always built to spec for me, which is fantastic. So in both of these models, we've got Ping's Tour 85 extra stiff shaft that they use. So very, very similar in terms of the loft that we've got. So we've got 19 degrees in this and 20 in this, so there shouldn't be too much difference in there. Both got exactly the same shaft, both got the smart grip in there as well. So let's go hit some. Let's have a bit of a look then at the results that we see between the hybrid and the crossover. So like I've said previously, those of you that watch videos before, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of hybrid golf clubs, and I tend to hit them all left, and this test has done nothing to stop me thinking that. So if we look at all the shots I've hit with the hybrid, you can see they're tending to turn over a little bit on me. I've no idea why this is. I just always do it with hybrids. I'm not quite sure why it is. I thought it was the shaft, but both of them had the same shaft in, and we'll see when I've hit the crossover, I've hit those much straighter, haven't I? So if we look at the carry distance, so both of them pretty similar. So 228 with the hybrid, 232 with the crossover, 246 total with the hybrid, 245 with the crossover. So pretty similar numbers I'm getting, but when you compare that to the ball flights and where they've actually gone, there's no competition here for me. The crossover definitely wins. I mean, I thought that before hitting it. I've always been that kind of player that a long iron has kind of looked better to me behind the ball, and I've kind of preferred the look of it. And And with that crossover, that was exactly the same. So sat it behind the ball, thought I was going to hit it straight, and I did. So yeah, it was much more easy to control for me. I actually really like the look of it, and some of these strikes weren't particularly good as well. I hit one particular one that was really low and out the toe, and it still came off quite hot and got down there. So it was a little bit shorter than the others, but in terms of how straight it came out, it was really, really good. But both of them look great behind the ball. The hybrid looks lovely and feels lovely when you hit it. For someone like me though, it's not quite for me, but for that player who wants a little bit of help getting the ball in the air, and maybe even someone who tends to have that bit of a slice or that miss to the right, this hybrid could help correct that a little bit as well, because like I say, it's so much easier, I think, to turn over than the crossover is. So two very different golf clubs there to try, but even though they're very different, they're kind of aimed to do the same job, if that makes sense. So they're trying to fill that gap at the top end of the set when the irons are just a little bit too difficult to hit. But those of you that have seen the video that we've done on other G425 stuff know that when I've actually hit the G425 irons, they perform pretty well as well when we look at the long end of the set. So that might be something to consider too. There's a little bit more offset on the iron, obviously, rather than the crossover. But yeah, if you're that player that needs that bit of help, potentially that might gap this end of the bag as well. So hope you've enjoyed the video. I've loved testing these two and just seeing exactly the difference between the two ball flights that I'm getting there as well. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments section below. If you want to know anything more about these products or any of the new products coming out this year, please ask away. We love answering your questions. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon.